Since we were talking about rent, I just saw this today.
Rat.
One of my tenants' child was unalived, and they haven't paid their portion of the rent for 2 months. I just reached out to them and I asked them what's going on with the rental payments. So now the person apologized, and here's the screenshot of their response. They apologized and they asked me if I could give them some grace because they just finished burying their child and that they'd like to pay the balance this coming Monday. I got off the phone and I went about my business, and something was just egging at me about that situation. I ended up calling back the tenant and telling the tenant, listen, don't worry about the balance for the last 2 months for the rent that you didn't pay me. And the upcoming rent for June, don't pay it. It's going to be on me. So I'm going to eat a couple of $1,000s worth of rental payments, but my heart told me that I think that's something that I should do. So now in a situation like this, if you had a tenant that just finished burying their child that was unalived, what would you do in a situation like this? Would you treat it as business and say it's not my problem, you want your money? Or would you have done something like what I just did? It's a couple of $1,000s, but I feel good about doing it. So what would you do in a situation like this?
Depends where I'm at in life. If I'm just starting out, that's my first property. Sorry, bro. Like, I'd probably send them some cards and stuff, flowers. I'm not being a dick. That's just me. Like, if you're starting out, bro, I don't have money.
Yeah.
If you get a few money, like, if you have the resources to do nice things like that, go ahead. It's your property.
But assuming if you got the property, you got enough money to get the property.
No, not necessarily.
Well,
Because you take out a loan.
no, I know. But
So you didn't have the money to get the freaking...
But assuming, I mean, you're not, if you're buying a property, you're not just starting out. Like, you're starting out in the real estate, but not like as in making money. You must have like a job or some other income stream.
No, yeah, I get that. But this is an investment.
True.
So if it's your first investment, ain't nobody gonna... I'm not taking $1,000 down on my first investment because something unfortunate happened. I'm not gonna be a dick to them. I'm not gonna be like, yo, I need the rent, but I'm not taking off 3 months worth of rent.
Would you do just like that?
Which is a quarter of the year.
Yeah, 3 months. I mean, yeah. Would you do
if
maybe
I had
one payment?
Yeah, maybe.
That's
just, I'm being totally honest, maybe.
It does depend on your financial situation.
But it depends where I'm at. Like,
I saw a lot of people. I mean, for him personally, I think
like that's a good thing.
This is a personal decision.
Yeah,
obviously.
no, but I'm not saying he did a wrong thing. I'm just saying it depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
I think most people are like saying like what you thought was right.
Yeah.
I saw a guy. He was like,
and those tenants will forever be grateful for him. Like he can, whatever. He just gained himself lifetime resident.
This guy says money comes and goes. Your soul is worth more.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I think. I mean, 3 months.
That's a quarter of the year, bro.
It depends on your financial situation.
3 months is a lot.
3 months is a lot. You know, I yeah.
It's one thing if it's like let's say you have like a 6 tenement like building, and it's like one unit didn't pay for 3 months, but if it's like 3 floors and then one of your floors didn't, like that's a lot.
Yeah, I think
that's a chunk.
It really depends. I think if they had a payment coming up and they're I'd probably say, you know,
don't worry about it.
Because funerals
are expensive. That's why people need life insurance.
That's rough.
That's why people need life insurance. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks. But I don't like it. Like, not this video, but there are instances where people, like, something unfortunate happens, and then they'll bring that to their landlord, and then they'll make it seem like I shouldn't have to pay rent at all after this because I've been so terribly, like, unfortunate. It's like, why all of a sudden is it the landlord's, like, responsibility to take care of? Like, no, he's providing you with the home. You should, there's money to be fucking, you know, accounted for.
I think people should give people grace. I don't think it should be like a dickhead.
No,
but you can't expect that you'll have, you know, that you'll never have to pay again.
Yeah, like that's crazy ass.
Yeah, it depends on this. Again, this can be a million different circumstances. Yeah. I mean, this is extreme. Your child dies. I think, you give grace.
Give him grace. Who cares? I'm like, bro, And depending on like too, like if they're like good tenants too, and they always pay on time,
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
bro, yeah, obviously be kind to them. You want to keep tenants paying. You want to keep tenants around for a long time. But like, if you act like a shithead and something unfortunate happens, don't expect people to treat you. And if they do, good for them.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a lot of people that like they're very quick to call their landlords like assholes or oh he's so mean like he never like lets me be late like 1 second, but then they don't realize how annoying it is to have someone living in your property while you know you have to pay those property tax at the end of the year that are expensive as
Yeah.
fuck.
And you, and also assuming, like, cause a lot of tenants, I mean, landlords, they're not like, multimillionaires or whatever, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So if they got personal stuff going on in their life, their child died, now they need to make more payments. It goes the opposite way too. So I think in general, going both ways,
Gotta
giving
respect.
the landlord grace as well as the tenant. Granted, though, the landlord does have more power in the situation. So I
Yeah.
think they can exploit tenants more than a tenant can exploit a landlord. There are some fucked up tenants that kind of they just basically exploit people, especially in a housing market that's crazy right now.
Yeah.
That's why there need to be, I think better laws and policy regarding tenant landlord relationships. But I think on an interpersonal basis, if people were just more forgiving and gave each other grace while still maintaining the boundaries, like yes, I know not everything in life is about money, but if you can get that in order and that's understood, it makes relationships easier. Because when people I like just are more flip floppy, these agreements aren't as concrete. That's when the business starts to overtake the relationships. That's why, like, if you can just get it set, it saves a lot of headaches down the road. That's why you see like families when they start loaning each other money and all that kind of stuff. Because then it's like every time you talking with the person, now it's like, oh, you still owe me this or
Yeah.
that. That's why I don't like owing people or.
But that's the thing too about landlords and stuff. It's like I don't know, like if the tenant has to think of it in this way. We give the landlord money, right? Some of it's for his profit, the others for the taxes, right? To keep up the house, right? The landlord, the last thing a landlord wants to deal with is having to go through the process of like doing another contract with a different person that they don't know. Now they have to get used to that person. Like a landlord wants to keep tenants in. Like he wants to just keep so that he or she doesn't have to worry about, oh, how am I gonna do this month when so and so is moving out next month and blah blah blah. Like they want to keep you there, so have that in mind. Like, yo, they don't really want to kick me out. They just want me to be able to be consistently paying, because that's like things that I see all the time where like tenants try to be petty towards landlords and be like, oh, well, I asked you to fix that and you haven't fixed that yet and blah 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 blah. And it's like, all right, but if you're one of those tenants that's like you always pay a day late, 2 days late, and it's like you gotta have some give and take, dude.
True, but then I say on the other side that there are the landlords that will just continually raise the rent because they can, and I would say that's probably a bigger problem because people will raise the rent and then not fix those things.
That's
And then
different.
I'd say on the landlord tenant relationship, I'd say the landlords systemically, societally are a bigger problem than the tenant, because at the end I think more people are going to be reasonable tenants than not. When they're not, they stick out like a sore thumb. They cause great headaches. But landlord, because they have the power and the advantage and the conditions right now, create that kind of environment. They're more exploitative or have more of a negative impact than the tenant. Granted, I think in most situations, both landlord and tenants are probably reasonable. I think in general, most people are reasonable people.
Yeah.
So, in average situations, or not average situations, but just like in general, people can be.
It's just
reasonable.
those, yeah.
But,
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
But yeah,
I mean, but you live in that person's house, bro. So,
yeah.
homie,
true.
if homie decides, hey, I need to raise the rent because of so and so.
I mean, sometimes
Even if
yeah.
it's like their kids, they got kids in college
Oh,
now. They got to pay
yeah.
those college. It's like, bro,
Sometimes
I got a property. I'm gonna use it to make myself more revenue.
sometimes life is life. And
Don't take shit personal though.
yeah.
Start fucking burning down the place. That's
Yeah.
crazy.